Hi all and welcome to round 17 of Rant Football. Before we get into last week's results and we get into the next lot of predictions, we're going to talk about the Champions League draw for the knockout stages. I mean, seriously, there has been some amazing games coming out of this. We're going to start off with Borussia Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, that's going to go anyway. I couldn't predict that. Well, I can't predict anyway, as you clearly know. I think the game, the ties, the two legs of the round is easily Real Madrid versus Manchester City. I mean, wow, that's going to be amazing. Man City need this cup. They're not going to win the Premier League this season. It's either the Premier League or Champions League for Man City, so they need to give their all. That's my opinion. So I think Man City's going to have to go all out in this one. Atalanta versus Valencia. I think Valencia will do this. Just about. Valencia, I'm not sure how they got through, but they did. Another mouth-watering tie. Atletico versus Liverpool. Atletico maybe not the same team as a few seasons ago, but on the day they can give Liverpool one hell of a game. Liverpool, long busy season with the World Club Cup as well. Could catch up with them by this time. Then we've got Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. Frank Lampard is going to make his return to Munich. He captained Chelsea in 2012 to win the Champions League. To me, no lose situation for Chelsea. These youngsters and the current bunch of players are expected to lose this one. So I hope they go out there, enjoy themselves and just, try and get a few goals. Not get embarrassed, but, go out there and give it a go. But I think Munich will have that. Lyon Juventus, one way Juventus. Ronaldo slowly starting to wake up and scoring goals now for Juventus. Juventus have a great team. They're one of them teams who've underperformed and should have maybe won a Champions League maybe here and there, but they haven't lately. But I think Juventus will go through. Tottenham are through. They got Leipzig, whatever they're called, Leipzig. That's the tie I want Chelsea to have, truthfully. Tottenham have got it. The luck of Jose is there. Tottenham will go through. I don't think it'd be super easy, but they'll do it. Napoli versus Barcelona. A few years ago, you'd say Barcelona all day. It's over and done with. Napoli have just sacked Carlo Ancelotti because he didn't get on with the players. Sacked him after him getting through in this tournament. Unlucky Carlo. By the time this video's out, you could be Everton manager. So, congratulations for getting a job really quick. You're a great manager. We appreciated you at Chelsea. The football we played under you at Chelsea was fantastic and winning the Premier League. Napoli, Barcelona, 50-50, flip of coin. I'm not too sure on this one. I maybe go 60-40% Barcelona, 60% Barcelona to go through. On Carlo Ancelotti, if you get the Everton job, well done. And Arsenal, you're mental. You've missed out on Jose Mourinho. You've missed out on Carlo Ancelotti. I'm not sure the Pochettino thing, if he would take the job there, but you should go for him now. The other two, you're mental. You're a mess of a club right now. I don't think it's just down to management. I think there's definitely a player's rift there. As we all know, player power has overtaken football and it does my absolute nutting. Yes, I know these guys are on hundreds of thousands a week, but the clubs are now got to start supporting their managers. There's too much fucking player power in football when they just don't want to play for the managers, so they start underperforming. This is not on. If we were good money at a job and we didn't want to work for our manager and we started to underperform, we'd be sacked. It's time for footballers to start realising they're not the be-all and end-all. Yeah, they're the massive part of the game, of course they are, but us fans pay shitloads ton of money to watch you buy merchandise for ourselves and family members and friends, and all you want to do is walk around out there because you've fallen out with the manager. Get yourself sorted. The sort of money you're on, we'd love to be on. You're on more money than doctors, nurses, fire brigade, ambulance, army, police and everyone like that who do more important jobs than you, and you just throw it in the fans' faces and everyone's faces. You're spoilt brats, and I've fucking had enough of it. So that's it. That's my rant for this week. So if anyone wondered what I was going to rant about, it's spoilt brat professional footballers these days who don't realise how fucking lucky they are. Right, ran over. Shall we move on to the results from the last round in Rant Football and see how everyone got on? Right, we will do then. Saturday games. Liverpool versus Watford was the early kickoff. Full time it was 2-0 to Liverpool. We all got 2 points for this because pretty much we all went for a Liverpool win, what was kind of obvious, but none of us got the score right. I went 4-0, Gavin went 4-0, Paul went 3-1, Simon went 4-1, and Craig went 4-0 also, so all 2 points. The 3 o'clock games we get to is Burnley versus Newcastle, full time 1-0 to the Burnley. Well, I got 0 points, I predicted 1-1. Gavin gets 2 points, he predicted 2-1 to Burnley. Paul gets 0 points, he went 2-2. Craig also went 2-2, 0 points. I should not say Craig, I meant Simon. Sorry, Craig. Craig went no, but he still got 0 points because he went 2-1 Newcastle. So either way, it didn't matter. Chelsea versus Bournemouth, we all got 0 points. There's a problem at Chelsea right now, a little mini crisis going on. I know a lot of people saying it's a learning curve. I don't think it's so much a learning curve. I think these players are good enough. I think it's the age thing with some of them. They haven't learned, well, it is a learn, I suppose, in a way. They haven't got the legs and learned how to play big games Saturday, Wednesday. They've had it easier as youngsters. This will come quick. By next season, I think they'll be fine with it. It's a bit worrying about the top 4. Obviously, we were miles ahead. We've got Tottenham next weekend, and we can't lose that game. We've got to keep the gap open with Tottenham. I'd like a win, but you never know. So I just think Chelsea will start performing. Again, now we're not playing Monday and Wednesday for a bit. Anyway, Chelsea versus Bournemouth, it was 1-0 Bournemouth. We all got 0 points because I went 2-1 Chelsea, Gavin went 2-0 Chelsea, Paul went 2-1 Chelsea, Simon went 2-0 Chelsea, and Craig went 3-0 Chelsea. Whoops. Leicester versus Norwich. Finally, Leicester's amazing season had a little dent in it. Full time 1-1. Yeah, again, we all get 0 points. We all predicted Leicester obviously to win this. I went 3-0. Gavin went 3-0. Paul went 3-0 to Leicester. So did Craig, went 3-0, and Simon went 4-0. Well, we was all wrong there. Sheffield United versus Aston Villa. Full time 2-0. Well, I got 0 points. I went 2-2. Gavin gets 2 points. He went 1-0 to Sheffield United. Paul gets 0 points. He went 2-1 to Aston Villa. Simon and Craig both get 2 points because they both went 2-1 to Sheffield United. We move on to the last game on Saturday, the evening kickoff. It was Southampton versus West Ham. Full time to the Hammers was 1-0. Well, I went 2-1 West Ham, got 2 points. Gavin went 1-0 to West Ham, 3 points. Well done, Gav. Paul went 1-0, 0 points. Simon also went 1-0, 0 points. Craig went 2-0 West Ham, 2 points. We move on to the Sunday games. Man United versus Everton. Full time 1-0. Get in there, the Grinch for me. He predicted 1-0, 3 points. Gavin predicted 2-0 to Man United, 0 points. Paul went 2-1, Man United, 0 points. Simon went 3-0, he gets 2 points. Craig went 3-0 to United, 0 points. Wolves versus Tottenham. Oh, Wolves, you just had to hold on for a few minutes. Well, they didn't, and they lost 2-1. And why? Because if it was 1-0, I would have got points, but I get 0 points. Gavin, he went 2-1 Spurs, he gets the 3 points for it. Paul went 3-1 to, that says Gavin 2-1. Paul went 3-1 to the Spurs, he gets 2 points. Simon also went 3-1 to the Spurs, 2 points. Craig went 2-1 to the Wolves, 0 points. Arsenal versus Manchester City. I knew Man City would win this. A couple didn't, but there you go. Full time 3-0 to Man City. And I got to say, Kevin De Bruyne. I still can't believe Chelsea let you go. Oh my God, you're one hell of a baller, mate. You're one of the best players on the planet right now. Hurts me watching you play for another team, knowing that we got rid of you once, brought you back, and then got rid of you again like idiots. And you would be what the centre midfield Chelsea needs. Well, full time it was for 3-0 to Manchester City. Well, I went 4-1 to City, 2 points. Gavin went 1-0 to City, 2 points. Paul went 2-0, 0 points. Simon went 3-0, the maximum of 3 points went on Simon, and Craig went 2-1 to the Arsenal, so he only gets 0 points. The last game of the week, and it was a Monday night game, was Crystal Palace versus Brighton. Full time, 1-1. I heard Brighton, I didn't watch the game, I was at work. Brighton apparently were the better team, and Zaha did score a nice goal to get him back into it. So if that's like, hey Chelsea, come and get me, if it's down to that goal, we'll have him, because Tammy Abraham can't be on his own scoring goals. He needs support, and we need a stronger squad. So Zaha, if you want to come on him. You're 27, you've got a good 5, maybe 6 years in you still. Well, it was 1-1, as I said. Well, I get 2 points because I went 2-2. Gavin gets 0 points. He went 1-0 to the Palace. Paul gets 0 points. He went 2-1 to the Palace. Simon gets 0 points. He went 2-0 to the Palace. And Craig gets 3 points. He went 1-1. So here we go. 5th place, Paul. 4 points, mate. What the hell is that about? 2 games. Oh dear. I shouldn't laugh because now me now, that'd be me next week. But Craig, you're in 4th place, mate. You got 9 points. I'm in 3rd place, joint 2nd really with Simon, but as a host and the generous man I am, the Grinch Phill finished 3rd. Should be 2nd really, because quite frankly I'm just being too nice. But you know, Simon does me a favour coming on every week. So Simon, you're 2nd, mate, on 11 points. And the boy who had his birthday last week, who's never won on Rant Football, who's always moaning to me that he's never won, he supports Man City, even though they're probably going to go out to Champions League and win nothing this season. As I said, he had his birthday last week, so we've given him a present. We all let him win this one, honest. 1st place, Gavin on 14 points. So round 17 predictions were done. Well done, Gavin, for you. As I said, brilliant, mate. Fantastic. Spot on. Yet again, I'm moving on to something a bit more serious now before we go on to everyone's predictions. Yet again, the time of year we are, a lot of people have problems in their lives, and it's not a good thing, and there is support out there for you. We have the Samaritans in England, obviously. There's ways to get hold of them. The options will be coming up on the screen somewhere. And please don't just keep it to yourself. If you can't talk to friends or families, work colleagues, talk to strangers like these who are here to help. As I said, you can email them on joe@samaritans.org. That's JO, the @ SAMARITANS.org. You know, you've pretty much got time to compose your thoughts. You won't get a response straight away, so think about that. And you know, you can work through things over time. If it's urgent support, I beg you not to do it that way. We will get to the way to do it if you need urgent support. If you can't get on the internet though, don't worry, you can also send a letter. It's obviously going to take a bit of time, so yeah, again, if you need urgent support, don't do it that way. But to write that is to Chris, free post, RSRB KKBYCYJK, PO Box 9090, Stirling, FK 2SA. As I said, this is all going to be on the screen, so you'll be able to see it all, so you can take it down yourself, write it down, do whatever you want, take a screenshot. I do not care, just get the help. If you need it urgently though, on mobiles, phone booths, if there's any left, house phones, there's a free phone number. It's 116123. You'll have a one-to-one call with somebody. It's open 24 hours a day. I say it again, don't bottle it up, don't leave it to yourselves, get help. There are people here who care for you all. Right, let's move on to predictions, and let's get people's predictions up. And yet again, even though I call them Phil's predictions, someone else is doing it for me again this week. The Grinch was okay, but you're fired. because you didn't win. So let's get to my next person and see what he can do. So over to the predictions, everyone. See you all soon.
Yet again, he's gone for one of them stupid long rounds of games and predictions because of Christmas. So before I send everyone's presents out, especially Phill because he's brilliant, we'll do predictions. So here we go. Ho ho ho, predictions from Santa Claus. Round 18 predictions. Everton versus Arsenal, 1-1. Aston Villa versus Southampton, 1-1. Bournemouth versus Burnley, 2-2. Brighton versus Sheffield United, 2-1 to Brighton. Ho, ho, ho. Newcastle versus Crystal Palace, I am going to go 2-1 to Palace. Norwich versus Wolves, 2-1 to Wolves. Man City versus Leicester, I think Man City will win this actually, and I think it will be 2-0 to Manchester City. Ho, ho. Sunday games. Watford versus Manchester United, 2-0 to Manchester United. Spurs versus Chelsea, I believe this will be a 2-2 draw. Ho ho ho, Chelsea don't bloody lose to them, no one likes Spurs. So we move on to round 19, I believe. The Thursday night games are on Amazon Prime. Spurs versus Brighton. Spurs, you're gonna come undone, I can feel it. 1-1. No one likes you. Spurs boo. Then Aston Villa versus Norwich, 1-0 to the Villa. Bournemouth versus Arsenal, 1-0. Chelsea versus Southampton, Chelsea will win this 2-1. Crystal Palace versus West Ham, 1-0. Everton Burnley, let me think about that. I believe it will be 1-0 to the Everton. Sheffield United Watford, 2-0 to Sheffield United. Man United versus Newcastle, 2-0 to Manchester United. Leicester Liverpool, 1-2 to Liverpool. I'm afraid the title race is over. The only game on Friday on Amazon Prime, Wolves versus Manchester City. I'm going to go for another 1-1. I like my 1-1s. Ho ho ho. Shall we now move on to round bloody 20? How many rounds, Phill? Give it up. The early kickoff, Brighton Bournemouth, 2-1 to Brighton. Newcastle versus Everton, 1-1. Southampton versus Crystal Palace, 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Watford versus Aston Villa, I'm going to go 0-0. Norwich Spurs, 2-0 to the Spurs. West Ham Leicester, 1-2 to the Leicester. Burnley versus Manchester United, 2-0 Man United. Sunday games, Arsenal Chelsea, 1-2 to the Chelsea. Liverpool Wolves, I'm actually going to shock everyone, 1-1, yes. Man City Sheffield United, I'm going to go 4-0 to Manchester City. Oh. The last round, Phill, we all hate you. So many games, Premier League though. Bloody take a break. Oh, like Santa does most of the year. So we get to Wednesday the 1st, and there's many games that day as well, January. Happy New Year to everyone. Here we go. Brighton Chelsea, 2-0 Chelsea. Burnley Villa, 2-1 Villa. Newcastle Leicester, 2-1 Leicester. Southampton Spurs, 3-0 Spurs. Watford Wolves, 2-0 Wolves. I don't care if Ancelotti is in charge, it's going to be 2-0 to Manchester City against Everton. Norwich versus Crystal Palace, 2-1 to Palace. West Ham Bournemouth, 2-1 to Bournemouth. Arsenal Man United, I believe this one will be 1-0 Arsenal Man United. Finally, the last bloody game in this round. Oh, Phill, they're all going to hate you. You're on the naughty list for next year. Oh. Liverpool versus Sheffield United. I believe this will be 2-1 Liverpool. Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Hello everyone, it's Gavin here. Phil's asked me to do page after page of, look at this, that's one page. There's the other page. Cheers Phill, jeez, how many flipping things do you want us to do? Just so you can have a nice couple of weeks off while the rest of us are working over the Christmas period. Good note is, I think I won the league this week. I think he sent me a message saying I'd won. I think I got 10 more points than Paul did, which it's about the same gap between City and United at the moment, eh, Paul? So I'm going to do some predictions for 40 games. This will be fun, right? Well, 39 because Liverpool can't be asked playing an extra game because we've got some poxy tournament somewhere. Right, so we'll start with week 1. Starts on the 21st of December, which is this weekend. So I've gone Everton 1, Arsenal 0. Villa 1, Southampton 0. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. Bournemouth. Who did Bournemouth beat last week? Oh, that was it. Chelsea. Haha, Phill, your team's shite. Brighton 1, Sheffield United 1. Newcastle 1, Palace 2. Norwich 0, Wolves 2. Thanks, Wolves, for losing to Spurs because that gave me the title. So I've gone City 1-0 against Leicester. I reckon we can just beat them again, even without Vinny Kompany's 25-yard screamers. I've gone Watford 0, Man United 1, and then Spurs 1, Chelsea 0. Sorry, Phill, but your team's shite. And then week 2, which I do believe starts on Boxing Day. I've gone Spurs 2, Brighton 0, Villa 1, Norwich 0, Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2, Southampton 0, Palace 2, West Ham 0. There's so many on this page. Everton 1, Burnley 0, Sheffield United 2, Watford 0, Man United 2, Newcastle 0, Leicester 2, Liverpool 1, because I reckon Liverpool's got half a squad out at the World Club Championships, so I reckon Leicester could actually beat them and tighten the gap a bit. And at the same time, I've got Wolves 1, Man City 3. Now, week 3, so that's the next page, there we go. Right, week 3, starting with Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1, so it's Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1, Everton 1, Southampton 0, Palace 1, Watford 0, Villa 1, Norwich 0, Spurs 2, West Ham 0, Leicester 2, Burnley 1, Man United 1, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, Wolves 0, and Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. Final week, week 4, start with Brighton 0, Chelsea 1, Burnley 2, Villa 0, Newcastle 1, Leicester 2, Southampton 0, Spurs 1, Watford 1, Wolves 2, Man City 3, Everton 1, Norwich 1, Palace 1, West Ham 1, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2, Man United 1, Liverpool 0, Liverpool 3, Sheffield United 0. Hopefully that will get me another title in whenever it does it, because that takes us up to I think the beginning of next year. So happy Christmas, happy New Year to everyone. I'll see you soon. Champion is out.
How are we doing, guys? It's Rant football time again, so I've got a lot of games to go through and he's got 4 weeks to do, so I'll be pretty as quick as I can. So Everton and Arsenal 2-0 Everton. Aston Villa and Southampton 1-0 Aston Villa. Bournemouth and Burnley 2-0 Burnley. Brighton and Sheffield United. Yeah, there's one side of me, that's why.
Sheffield United.
Well, she said it, so 2-0 Sheffield United. Newcastle and Crystal Palace, I think that's going to be 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Norwich and Wolves. I'll go 3-0 Wolves, I think. Manchester City and Leicester, I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester. I don't think City are going to win. Watford and Man United, 4-0 to Manchester United. And then Spurs and Chelsea. I don't know. We'll go for 2-2. Let's see what happens. Then on to the next week, I don't know what number it is, but the next week, we've got Spurs and Brighton. I think it'll be 4-0 to Spurs. Aston Villa and Norwich. 2-0 Aston Villa. Keep looking at it because I've got the phone here, that's why I'm doing it. Brighton and Arsenal. Brighton, I mean Bournemouth and Arsenal. See, I can't read. It's been a long day. Bournemouth and Arsenal. I think we'll go Bournemouth 2-0. I think Arsenal are not going to do so good at home, away from home. Chelsea and Southampton, I'm going to go 2-0 to Chelsea. Crystal Palace and West Ham, I'll go 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Everton and Burnley, I'll go 2-0 to Everton. Sheffield United and Watford.
You done that one?
Done that one?
Yeah, 2-0.
No, that was Watford and Man United. It's okay.
Oh no, you've done Sheffield United.
Sheffield United and Brighton. So this is the second. Right, sorry about this, guy. Yeah. I'm doing 4 weeks in one here. That's Julie, by the way. You know what she's like. She's from Watford originally, and she's also a Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday fan, but she wants to support Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United. So she's going to be conflicted with this game. And also, I'm going to go 1-1, just to wind you up. Manchester United and Newcastle. The Boxing Day massacre is going to be 5-0 to Manchester United. Leicester and Liverpool. I'll go 2-0 to Liverpool, I think. And then that'll be the title done and dusted for Liverpool. Wolves and Manchester City. I think Manchester City will come back again. I'll go 2-1 to City. Then we've got the third week I'm doing for you. Brighton and Bournemouth, 2-1 Brighton. Newcastle and Everton, 2-0 Everton. Southampton and Crystal Palace, I'm going to go 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Watford and Aston Villa, 1-0 to Aston Villa. Norwich and Spurs, 5-0 to Spurs. West Ham and Leicester, 3-0 to Leicester. Burnley and Man United, 2-0 to Manchester United. Arsenal and Chelsea, 3-0 to Chelsea, I think, maybe. Liverpool and Wolves, 2-1 to Liverpool. So I think they're going to be a little bit tired with all these fixtures that they've got. Manchester City and Sheffield United, I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester City. And the final one, the first games of the new year. Brighton and Chelsea, 2-0 to Chelsea. Burnley and Aston Villa, 2-2, I think. Yeah. Newcastle and Leicester will be 2-0 to Leicester. Southampton and Spurs, I think it'll be Spurs 3-0. Watford and Wolves, 1-0 to Wolves. Excuse you. Manchester City and Everton, 1-1, I think. Norwich and Crystal Palace, I think we're going to Crystal Palace 1-0. West Ham and Bournemouth, I think possibly 2-0 to West Ham. Arsenal and Man United, I think it'll be 4-0 to Manchester United. And Liverpool and Sheffield United, I think that is going to be after a little bit, how long of a rest have they got? I think 3-0 to Liverpool. So that's it, guys. I said it was going to be quicker, just been 5 minutes, but do your usual stuff for Phil, and like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again.
Right, hello everybody. It's another bumper predictions thing. So basically I'm just going to have to read off the tablet because I've got a shocking memory. I won't make a good presenter. So I'll just rattle through it because there is a lot. You could play a shot game. Every time I touch my chin you can have a shot. Right, so here we go. Everton, well, first round, I don't know if Phil wants to do it like that. First round, Everton against Arsenal. Everton at home, new manager. 3-1 for Everton for me. Next game, Aston Villa against Southampton. Got down Aston Villa win 2-1. Bournemouth against Burnley. Bournemouth 2-0. Then Brighton against Sheffield United. Sheffield United away win 1-0. Next up, Newcastle against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace 2-1. Away win, obviously. And then next up, 1 for Norwich and 1 for Wolves, 1 each. And then big game, this one. Manchester City against Leicester City. You can see City just about scraping it. They're getting a bit of back together at the moment, unfortunately. So Manchester City 2-1. And then Sunday, Man United, my team, away at Watford. We're such a strange team at the moment, but I can't knock back. I can't knock back my team. We're going to have to go 2-1 for United. Hope for the best. And then next up, Phil's team, Spurs against Chelsea. Going for the Spurs win with Mourinho maybe doing the business, 2-1. Alright, that's that round. Next round, Thursday 26th. Spurs and Brighton, gone for another Spurs win, 2-1. And then Aston Villa against Norwich. I've given Norwich the win here, away win, 2-1. Bournemouth against Arsenal. Gone 1 each for that one. Arsenal are rubbish, but you know, we'll see. They might have a new manager themselves by then. Then Chelsea against Southampton. Go for the Chelsea 2-1. Crystal Palace against West Ham. 0-0, I've said, but could end up about 8 each. It's Christmas, isn't it? And then Everton against Burnley. What have I gone? 2-1 for Everton. Yeah. And then Sheffield United against Watford. Just a 1-0 for Sheffield United. And next up, Manchester United against Newcastle at home. Hopefully, the good team will turn up and it'll be 3-0 to United. Next up, Leicester, another big game. Leicester against Liverpool. I hope Leicester win, but I just can't see it. I think it'll be a lot of goals. 3-2 to Liverpool. Boo. Next up, City and Wolves. I think it'll be a bit of Christmas madness. Two each have gone there. Yeah, Wolves and Man City, that one. Right, now it's the 28th of December. Brighton against Bournemouth, 2 each. Newcastle and Everton have gone for just a 1-0 Everton win, away win. Southampton against Crystal Palace, another 0-0. Boring, probably. What do I know? Anything can happen by now. And then Watford against Aston Villa. Aston Villa 2-1 win. There we go. Norwich against Spurs, another high scorer, in my opinion. Spurs 3-2 win. And then West Ham against Leicester, another defeat for West Ham, so 2-0 for Leicester. And Burnley against United, again I can't back against United, but I don't know. 2-1 win. I've got a feeling we might draw, but yeah, I've gone 2-1 win for United, hopefully. And then it's on the Sunday, Arsenal against Chelsea. Got another Chelsea defeat here. Another for Arsenal might have a new manager. So a 2-1 new manager bounce. 2-1 for Arsenal against Chelsea. And Liverpool to win 2-1 against Wolves as well. And City to win 3-0 against Sheffield United. You never know. What do I care? Right, next up, last one, New Year's Day, is Brighton against Chelsea. 2-0 for Chelsea, away win. And Burnley against Phill, 0-0. Sound like I'm just reading off the video printer now, don't I? I wrote it all down. Newcastle against Leicester, another win for Leicester, hopefully. I want them to try and catch Liverpool. Leicester 2-0 against Newcastle. And then Southampton against Spurs. We've got a Spurs defeat here. Southampton 2, Spurs 1. And then Watford against Wolves, 2 each. Never know. City against Everton. Everton defeat, 3-1 to City. And then Norwich against Crystal Palace. 2-1 for Norwich. West Ham and Bournemouth, another West Ham defeat, 2-0 for Bournemouth. And then United and Arsenal, could be a good game, usually is, but I don't think it'll be an 8-1, 8-2 this time. 3-1 for United against Arsenal, hopefully. I'll have my fingers crossed. And then last game on the predictions, Liverpool and Sheffield United. I think it'll be a Liverpool win, 3-0. Pretty easy fare for them lads. Alright, and that's it. So there we go. Have a very Merry Christmas and enjoy the football.
Hi everybody, sorry I'm so late, Phil. I've totally been so busy. Go and see Rise of Skywalker. That's all I'm going to say. Right, round 1 or whatever. Everton, Arsenal, a battle of the shit teams. Come on, Arsenal, 2-0. Aston Villa, Southampton. Southampton, they're in dire straits. 3-0. Aston Villa. Bournemouth, Burnley. Oh, God, these games are pants this week. Bournemouth, 2-0. No, sorry, 2-1. Brighton, Sheffield United. 3-2 to Brighton. Newcastle, Crystal Palace. Up the hoops. 2-1 to Newcastle. Norwich, Wolves. 1-0 to Wolves. Man City, Leicester. Boom. Score draw. 1-1. Watford, Man United. 4-0 Man United. Spurs, Chelsea. 2-2. Next round. Spurs, Brighton, Boxing Day. 3-0 Spurs. Aston Villa, Norwich, 3-0 Aston Villa. Bournemouth, Arsenal, 2-1 Arsenal. Chelsea, Southampton, 3-1 Chelsea. Crystal Palace, West Ham. It's a derby, that. 2-2. Everton, Burnley, 3-0 Everton. Sheffield United, Watford, 3-1 Sheffield United. Man United, Newcastle, 4-2. Leicester, Liverpool, score draw. Wolves, 1-1. Wolves, Man City, Wolves 2, Man City 1. Round 3, Brighton, Bournemouth, oh God, who cares, 2-1. Newcastle, Everton, 2-1. Southampton, Crystal Palace, 2-1. Watford, Aston Villa, 1-2. Norwich, Spurs, 1-2. West Ham, Leicester, 1-2. Burnley, Man United, 1-2. Arsenal, Chelsea, 1-2. Liverpool, Wolves, 2-1. Man City, Sheffield United, 2-1. Let's see what's next. Oh my God, is this the first, is it? Okay, yeah. Jesus, there's a lot of football. Brighton, Chelsea, 2-1 Chelsea. Burnley, Aston Villa, 3-1 Burnley. Newcastle, Leicester, up the hoops, 2-1 Newcastle. Southampton, Spurs, 4-0 Spurs. Watford, Wolves, 2-1 Wolves. Man City, Everton, 3-0 Man City. Norwich, Crystal Palace, 2-1 Norwich. West Ham, Bournemouth, 2-2. Arsenal, Man United, used to be a big game, but now it's not. 0-0. Liverpool, Sheffield United, hardest game we've had all season. 2-0 Liverpool. And that's all of them. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a lovely Christmas and a wonderful New Year. If you need any assistance, don't be lonely. Speak to people. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got neighbours. Speak to them. I love you all.
Yeah, just a quick video at the end to thank everybody who's been on Rant Football since I've started it this year with your predictions. Much love and thank you so much. The people on this week, I'm sorry for doing so many rounds together, but it was just going to take too long with not enough time with work to get them all out. And people who've watched them, if you ever like to come on, you know the drill, please come on. I do love having new people. It's so simple. It's just a few minutes of video. You look at the round of games that you're going to be doing and you predict the scores. If you want to be on, comment on YouTube or wherever you see it on social media. We'll sort something out. Or email me on baldphill@gmail.com. That's BALDPHILL@gmail.com. All I've got to say from this is now, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year, everyone. Cheers all.
Merry Christmas.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.